I don't know if have a sweet tooth at all, but
Oh
I
yeah.
do. What is the best dessert?
The best dessert. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, it's good. For me, it's apple pie with some vanilla ice cream. I love the apple. I'm not a huge chocolate guy, but I do love chocolate with peanut butter. I think that is
I'm
so.
with
I'm a
you.
big Reese's, but in terms of dessert, when you're sitting down at a restaurant and having dessert, it's got to have apple and it's got to have vanilla ice cream in it.
Oh, nice. Okay. Do you like more of like a thick crust or more filling?
It depends on the crust. So the kind where you got like the caramelized sugar on top, that kind of thing, where it crunches when you bite into it, that I'm into that. If it's just like a butter crust, yeah, okay, it's good, not great.
You want some
Whip,
textures?
whipped
Yeah,
cream or just the vanilla ice cream?
I'm not a whipped cream guy.
Okay.
No.
Awesome. Okay. Classic apple pie. I love it. Okay. This one I thought of today. So it's kind of a new one. Of these three superpowers, which one would you like to have the most? Or maybe we can even rank them if you feel like it, but for sure, which one you'd like to have most. Okay. And they're not your classic superpowers.
All right.
So remembering everything. So essentially a photographic memory, but let's go with like one step above photographic memory because there are people that have that. Communicate to all living creatures. So all animals, fish, birds, whatever it is, you can communicate to them. So for me, that's great because you could go into the ocean and talk to the sharks and be like, don't eat me, like I'm safe. So for me, that's a good one.
Okay.
Or you have super hearing, but not to the point where it's annoying, like where you just hear everything all the time and it's messing you up. You can sort through all the voices or all the noises that you can have. So like, let's say like dog hearing on like steroids, like to another level.
Yeah.
So super hearing, communicate to all animals, or being able to remember absolutely everything.
All right. Well, super hearing, I feel like I would just hear everything, all the bad stuff that everyone says about me behind my back all the time. So I'm
Or
not
the
sure
good
that'd be a
stuff.
positive.
Or the good stuff. Oh, that JJ, he's the man.
Yeah, that's what everyone does behind closed doors whenever I leave. Oh boy, it's too bad he's gone. So I feel like that would be a net negative. I'm intrigued by the animals one, but just because you tell a shark doesn't not to eat you doesn't mean he's going to listen. So
That's fair.
I, the remembering everything I think is a big bonus because I'm married, and so that would come in very handy in all those arguments of I told you, no, you didn't, and I'm right because I remember literally everything. So I would definitely do the memory one.
That's awesome.
Love the rationale for that one.
Yes. Yeah, that's my favorite. When someone can justify why they chose that, like, and it makes sense, that's perfect. I needed that. Okay. I brought this. I thought of this one today because of a rule that was enforced recently in this one sport that we can talk about after. But what's of all the sports, which one do you think has the most confusing rules?
The most confusing rules. So I think that ultimately baseball has the most confusing rules because, from an objective observer, you think, okay, so you just hit the ball and hit the bat. But if you hit the ball in this area, you don't really have to catch it because it will still be an out. And if you hit it and it rolls from here past this line, well, now you don't have to run anymore. It's not a big deal. So I think there's a lot more rules that go into baseball that people would think, but ultimately, see, I'm talking myself out of this one. Ultimately, football. I played football in high school. I still don't understand half the rules of football. I've watched that game my entire life. It's still illegal formation because this guy was 90 degrees behind this guy, and it's Tuesday. And on Tuesdays during the winter solstice, if this guy is that many degrees behind, it's an illegal formation. You just go, what are they talking about? So I, first thought was baseball, but after thinking about it, I think it's definitely football. So many rules involved.
Have you guys been? Have you guys made like try to talk baseball or explain baseball rules to your kids? Like, like that's to me going to a baseball game, and especially with adults. Like I've gone to baseball games with people who don't know what's going on, and it's one of the more frustrating experiences. So it doesn't make any sense. But if you watched it, you understand it.
Correct. But I will tell you that no one, see, here's the thing. Here's the difference. People have to explain baseball to you and you eventually get there. football, no one ever explains you the game of football. You either grow up watching it or you don't. And if you don't, then you never really pick it up. I've tried to explain football to my wife so many times, but she doesn't get it because she didn't grow up watching it. It's just one of those games that you have to grow up watching. Otherwise, you have no idea what's happening.
Yeah, I agree with that actually. When you think about like it just someone who's never seen it before and all these whistles are happening, like then commercials and all this stuff. There's just so much that goes into it. Like having to the thing that bugs the heck out of me is after they've kicked an extra point, then there's the kickoff there that goes right through the back, it's pointless. And then we go back to another commercial. I know it's not really a rule, but it's stupid. It just bugs the heck out of me. But I think there's a lot of sports that have kind of like rugby has a lot of weird rules as well. Cricket is kind of strange, but
Yeah.
this happened recently and you guys need to look at it at some point. Dylan Fratelli, golfer, he hit a ball and it got stuck in like the branches. It's like a weeping willow tree and the ball got stuck. So suspended in the air. So the only way he can hit it is pretty much like by knocking it out of the tree, right? So he knocks it out of the tree onto the green and then makes the putt for par. Crazy, right? That he even did that. And right after that happens, he was given a 2-stroke penalty for standing aside his ball. So instead of doing it like this, he hit it like this, which is illegal in golf, and got a 2-stroke penalty while the rules official was watching all this happen. I'm like that's just the dumbest thing ever. Like the guy just hit the ball out of a branch, suspended in the air. Like that was a sweet play. So for me, it's golf, but sorry, I just had to bring that up today because I saw it and I was losing my mind out of frustration. So I agree with you though. Football is a tough sport. Okay. Let me write that down. Okay. So now I need to know what your favorite and least favorite fruit is.
Favorite and least favorite. All right. So favorite is raspberries. They do not get the credit they deserve. I love all berries. Raspberries for sure. The top one. So good. Least favorite fruit. Let's see. I'm not a fan of kiwi. It tastes okay. The fur kind of freaks me out. I don't like fur in my fruit. There are too many seeds. The seed to fruit ratio is way off. It's just completely off. And so that bugs me. Too much fur and too many seeds.
Have you ever, so I'm assuming you've never eaten a kiwi skin and all?
No.
You got to try it. It's awesome. Okay. But just on raspberries, great. I totally agree. Great fruit. The most frustrating, that and avocado are so frustrating with all of a sudden there's mold all over the container and
that's true. And the one thing about raspberries, I love them, but the seed is the exact same width as my teeth. And so it will sit there on top of my tooth and I cannot get it out for the life of me. It is the exact perfect width to just sit there on top of my teeth. So very frustrating, but well worth it.
Perfect. Okay. I don't know if you care about cars at all, but what would be your dream car?
Ford Mustang.
Oh, what year?
Ooh, yeah, I'm not into the vintage, so I could do the recent, but definitely like deep blue.
Deep blue. Ooh, love it. Okay. Ford Mustang. Okay. And then, so I asked this one just recently and I thought it was a pretty cool question. If you could have the exclusive interview, the tell all, they wouldn't hold anything back from you. The person has to be living though. Who would it be? Who would you ask to talk to?
The tell all wouldn't exclude anything. Okay. So for me, it would be Michael Jordan. The reason being, all-time great player, but with all the interviews of all the documentaries of everything, there's still so many questions that people have for this guy. What really happened in the flu game? Oh, it was really food poisoning. No, it wasn't. He was totally hungover and all that. And then, what happened the year that he was out of baseball? Was it really a secret suspension and all that? And like, I would love to know the answers to all those questions. I'm not a conspiracy theory guy. I think, when the head of the CIA can't keep the fact that he's having an affair secret, I doubt very much that Michael Jordan could get suspended for a year and nobody knows that this ever happened. But with everything that we know about Michael Jordan, the fact that there's still so many questions that people would love to know from this guy, that would be my big one.
Yeah, I think that would be an unreal one. Actually, I'd love to hear everything he has to say. Okay, so that's 6. Let me quickly add this up. So we only have a couple minutes left here.
I just want to be Andrew Gillis. That's really my only goal.
I mean, he had a pretty sweet score though. That's
Did he?
yeah, that's gonna be tough. But I liked your apple pie. Remember, everything was good. Football, it's definitely up there. Raspberry kiwi. See, I like kiwis. That's a tough one. Mustang. Okay. MJ, great. I think you end up with 120 points, which is unfortunately not close to Andrew Gillis, but there's nothing we can do about it. He has the third all-time score. So
really?
yes, really.
Okay. All right.
But still very solid.
Hears this, then.
This is just like Whose Line Is It Anyway. It's all made up and the points don't matter. We've enjoyed having you on Talking Caps. JJ, thanks for joining us on Oz Caps.
Oh, the pleasure was all mine, especially Karl's stupid questions.
And Karl, have a great trip to Vegas. Hope you enjoy it out there. And then the Capitals need to win some games on this road trip, right?
Yes, they do. Yeah, we're looking for some wins here. Spoil the parade for Vegas, trying to get into the playoffs here.
Yeah, I don't think that would make anybody unhappy outside of Vegas, to be fair at this point. But other than our friend George McPhee. Thank you, everybody, for listening to us on Oz Caps, and we'll talk to you next week. This is AP hockey writer Steve Wino with former Capitals defenseman Karl Alsner, the host of the Oz Caps podcast on Empire Media.
Yeah, I just want to say thanks to everybody that's tuning in to the All Caps podcast on the Empire Media YouTube channel. We're going to try and get as much going as we can.
Well, we love doing the video stuff. I hope you also get a chance to listen to the John Keim report about the Washington Commanders. We're going to have John on at some point and do some cross promotion, but please stay tuned to everything that we have on Empire Media, on YouTube, and on Apple Podcasts and Spotify.